Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I plan personally on creating generational wealth for myself coming out the other side of this 2020 market collapse, okay? So the first thing we're going to go over is just briefly go over this article talking about the top 5 investors who profited from the global financial crisis in 2008. We're not going to go over each story individually, but I just kind of want to give you guys the examples that are listed in this. And then after that, we'll go over my personal plan that I drew up. I summarized it pretty briefly, but we'll go over my personal strategy to creating that generational wealth for myself, okay? Because again, everyone has a different strategy. Everyone that we're going to see in this article, Warren Buffett, John Paulson, Jamie Dimon, they all took different approaches, but again, they all came out the other side. So it's important to know that all of you, each of you, should do your own due diligence, do your own research. This is obviously not any direct financial or investment advice. This is just what I plan on doing personally, with the time that I've spent educating myself and the information I have to make the best conclusions that I can. Okay, so always keep that in mind. That applies to anyone you watch talking about the markets. Okay, always do your own research, do your own due diligence. This is just my opinion. All right, so again, the top 5 investors who profited from the global financial crisis. Just going to read these takeaways real quick. The 2008 to 2009 financial crisis saw markets fall, erasing trillions of dollars of wealth around the world. Savvy investors recognized a unique buying opportunity with many companies' shares for sale at deep discounts. With markets recovering from the Great Recession, these investors have realized tremendous gains from their assertive maneuvers. Okay, so there's a very key word in there, and that is assertive. All right, these investors, again, we're not even going to go into their specific stories. I don't feel like there's a need for that, but again, some of the most recognizable faces in the investment space: Warren Buffett, John Paulson, Jamie Dimon, Ben Bernanke, and Carl Icahn. Again, veterans, true veterans of the space. They've been in the game for a long time, and they understood how to play a recession, okay? Because they've been in the game for a long time, all right? These are all these are all older individuals. They've experienced crashes in the past, and they knew how to approach them because they went back to the history, or they went back in the history. They studied history. They've lived through it, and they know how to approach it because they know obviously every situation is different. The 2020, this coronavirus crisis is gonna be different, just obviously and categorically, than the 2008 financial crisis, than the Great Depression back in the 1920s and 30s. It's all different, but there are very foundational rules that apply to each one. And if you do know how to play it and be assertive, that's the word I was talking about earlier. If you're assertive and know how to play it correctly, you will be able to come out of this with generational wealth. Okay, because again, if you want to play it similar to Warren Buffett, just buying value stocks, like just basic kind of, Coca-Cola, very basic, just equity companies, then that's awesome. That is not my strategy, but just understand that there are different strategies that will work if you play them correctly. You just have to learn and have to do your due diligence on these. Okay, so again, wanted to go over this just to show you that obviously it is possible. I'm sure you guys knew that it was possible to make money during recessions. But again, we just wanted to go over that to show you how reputable the investors who were most successful coming out of the last recession are today, some of the most successful people in the financial world. Okay, so this is my personal plan. All right, and again, I summarized it real quick. This is very brief, and I just want to go over it with you guys real quick just to give you guys an idea of how I'm attacking this, okay? The first is investing in revolutionary assets that this crisis will highlight the need for. Okay, so again, these are revolutionary assets, stocks, just investment vehicles that I believe that this current COVID-19 coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, crisis will highlight the need for, and really open people's eyes to the importance of these assets. Okay, so I have 3 listed here: Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain, because people are realizing the faults in the current financial system and the trillions of dollars that will be injected into our economy will strongly devalue the dollar. Okay, so again, there's a lot of shady economic play going on right now with these small business loans, with the cash injection, with the stimulus package. I've not been hearing a lot of good things. And it is making people question the current monetary system because we were not prepared for this. Um, you can't blame them for that, but our current financial and monetary system is outdated. It is over 50 years old, and in my opinion, it is time for an upgrade of that. And that is what Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain fill the void. They fill that void where the current financial system is lacking, and that is why I believe that is a revolutionary technology. That is, if you guys watch my other videos, you would know that Bitcoin and Ethereum, those other cryptocurrency projects are a large part of my personal portfolio. I do have other videos on that if you want to educate yourself more, but that's not for this video, okay? So that's the first category. The second category is biotech companies like Moderna and Regeneron, who are on the verge of a COVID-19 vaccine. Obviously very current, very relevant. There are other biotech companies that I'm very interested in, like CRISPR and Editas, just genetic editing companies. But I think, obviously, a pandemic like this makes people value health and medicine and, again, biotechnology. So I think coming out of this, there will definitely be a lot more weight put on and value put in the hands of these biotech companies that are on the cutting edge, that are doing real things to do real good for humanity, okay? And they deserve to be compensated for that. They're doing truly good work and revolutionary work in the world. And again, back to the term revolutionary, that's what we want to look for, okay? Revolutionary companies that this crisis will open people's eyes to. Okay, and then the last that I am investing in, that I'm long on, is 5G infrastructure companies, because people are going to be more remote and using a shitload more bandwidth and data. Okay, so 5G, obviously the next evolution of 4G. If you guys remember how significant the jump from 3G to 4G was a few years back, it was significant, right? So I hear the jump from 4G to 5G is going to be exponentially greater than that jump, and there will be absolutely no lag time on your phone. So if you have 5G access, real brief, 5G is a series of towers. 4G is like you have one big tower in a town, right? 5G is a bunch of small towers all over the town. Okay, so it's like a web. So there's pretty much no lag time when you're trying to load something. Videos render and buffer immediately. And because our society is more remote, right? There's a lot of, everyone's isolated right now. Everyone's quarantined as of right now. So this is opening companies' eyes and people's eyes to the fact that, shit, hey, I don't need to go into work, or 5 days a week at least. I could remote work 3 days a week and get equally as much done and be equally as efficient working from home, okay? And that's going to create the need for a lot more bandwidth, a lot more data, and that is a problem that 5G specifically really fulfills. And all these, I will make a video in the future talking about my personal stock picks, like, so get more specific about my portfolio in regards to crypto, biotech, and 5G. But that's for another video. This is just a brief summary. And then the second way I am capitalizing on this crash is shorting all markets that won't be the same moving forward. Okay, so if you guys aren't familiar with shorting stocks, I do have a tutorial on it. It's a Robinhood shorting tutorial. If you guys are interested in that, so go check that out. If so, and I do have a course on it if you guys are interested in that. But always watch the free stuff first. Watch as much free info as you can prior to doing that, okay? So that goes with any course too. Always watch as much free stuff as you can before buying any course, all right? So again, shorting stocks, that is the secondary way that I plan on creating a significant amount of wealth through this crisis. The first point is unnecessary goods like clothing and jewelry companies, because people will be more mindful of spending after a time of scarcity. So again, during this crisis, it really opens people's eyes after years and years of decadence and just such great times and such luxurious times, right? This opens people's, not necessarily opens people's eyes, but it makes people realize what is really important in life, right? Like health, family, loved ones. There's things that are important and there's things that are unimportant that this crisis highlights. And I believe that like luxury goods, jewelry, just vanity items fall into that category. And so I think stocks that are correlated with, again, clothing, jewelry, etc. will fall. So I'm shorting that market currently. And then the second is smaller second-tier airlines and travel companies, because after this crisis, only the leaders of industry will be left standing. There won't be enough demand. Okay, so airlines, let's take airlines as an example. United, American, Delta, those will survive because they're getting bailed out. Okay, the government's bailing them out and taking stake in their company. If the government owns part of their company, they're not going to fail. The government won't let them fail, and they're necessary. People are still going to travel, not as much, but people are still going to travel. And when I say secondary, so again, not Delta, United, American, they're going to be fine. I'm talking Spirit, JetBlue, maybe even Southwest, like Virgin. Those guys are going to have a hard time because, again, people are going to travel again, but people are emotionally scarred. They're not going to want to be in a little trapped little capsule with a bunch of other people after this crisis, because they're going to be more health conscious. They're going to be more fearful of contracting any sort of virus or disease, right? And it will come back. It will take a long time, and I don't think it's going to be a short enough time for these smaller airlines and travel companies to survive, sadly. And it is sad. This is not a happy thing. Shorting companies is not a happy game. There is money to be made in shorting stocks, but again, it's a sad game. Companies are not going to make it out of this, and that is super sad. People are out of jobs. It can be a very sad time. And actually, I just watched The Big Short not too long ago, and that movie does a real good job at highlighting kind of the fact that money can be made in times of crisis, in times of such wealth disparity. But there is the negative side, people losing jobs, depression. There's so much sadness that comes with it. So I don't feel good about shorting stocks, but again, the market is the market, and that's just the game, you know. So that is the secondary way that I plan on creating generational wealth on this. Again, if you want to learn, go check out my video on shorting stocks. And again, I have that 25 course on it, but definitely watch the free video first. All right. So yeah, again, I just wanted to let you guys know that this is my plan. If you play this correctly, there is ways to monetize this crisis. Be optimistic. Be as optimistic as you can. I want to alliterate that I am very optimistic in the human species, and in the fact that we will come out of this stronger than we were before. We'll be more resilient, and we'll have more character that we have built through this hard time. And I'm overall optimistic. Just in the near to midterm, I'm very bearish because the fundamentals are just awful right now. Okay, so that's why I'm shorting, but I'm very bullish on these revolutionary technologies and industries that we're talking about first. And I do believe that those will serve a very significant purpose, and that is the majority of my positions. Okay, shorting is a fairly small part of my portfolio. The far majority, I would say like 90%, is in the good stuff. Okay, is in those revolutionary technologies that will make a true difference in this world, and that do deserve to be compensated by the market, and see the upwards price action and momentum that they will. In my opinion. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them below. Always love talking shop with you guys. I'll respond to all of them. Yeah, I would appreciate it if you liked this video and subscribed as well if you want to catch more content like this. Okay, so always remember, guys, make waves in these markets. Until next time, peace.